The final problem begins far from the classroom, with an emperor in critical condition and a succession crisis hidden inside Deculein's exam. Stephen Yakater is remembered as a genius and a mild-mannered prince, the kind of man who should have been easy to accept. But the old king also valued a young, independent power block, and Stephen did not turn away from hostile politics against Bloodshroud. That contradiction makes Stephen the dangerous center of the question. After the emperor dies, the answer is not only who wears the crown, but why the world chooses him. Stephen had adjusted Evangirain, and Deculein built the problem so that ordinary memorization would not be enough. The question feels like a warning that this world is about to change, and only someone who understands both politics and beauty can read it. At the Magic Tower, the last day of Deculein's marathon exam arrives. Epherene has survived the long exam through stubbornness, caffeine, and pride, but the final question still blocks her path. The other students complain that grades barely mattered because the exam rewarded learned intuition before attention. Even professors want to see the answer because the last problem has become a mystery inside the tower itself. Now only 2 students remain. Epherene and Sylvia sit in the same room, but the pressure around them is completely different.
This painful question is the final hurdle. I am going to solve it.
Epherene has drunk so much coffee that even her exhaustion feels absurd, but she refuses to quit before the end. Sylvia studies the same question with a quiet focus that makes the room feel unfair. Then Deculein arrives, and the final answer stops being private.
Yes, one of them solved the last question. I knew it was her. How did you solve it?
Sylvia stands in the light, not boasting and not hesitating, as if she has simply found the shape Deculein buried in the problem. Her answer begins with the magic circle itself, a true masterpiece, not a mechanical formula. The rotating circles are filled with magical elements, and their movement matters as much as their meaning.
Even from the cool blue colors you can feel warmth. And beneath the false warmth there is darkness, hot and cold, dazzling but sharp.
Deculein understands why she found the answer. Sylvia did not only solve the logic, she recognized the art hidden inside it. The spell feels like being numb and still forcing yourself to fight back, which is exactly the emotional shape of the problem. Inside that answer is Kim Woojin, the man who once dreamed of art school but feared becoming an incompetent and lazy talent. Woojin wanted people to feel something from his pieces, and he kept chasing art even when life pushed him away from it. That is why this final question belongs to Kim Woojin as much as it belongs to Deculein. Deculein's love of beauty and Woojin's abandoned dream fused into a problem that only an artist could fully read. For a moment, Deculein is not annoyed or threatened. He is comforted by what Sylvia uncovered.
Well done.
And thank you.
Sylvia turns away with more feeling than her calm face admits.
I also wanted to thank him.
The answer fades, but Epherene is still standing in front of the same wall Sylvia passed through. In Epherene's mind, the old demand returns. She must become an archmage. Her family expectation is not a pretty slogan. It is the weight of talent, bloodline, and everything she wants to prove. She reaches toward the circle as if touching the answer might force it to become hers.
No. Magic itself is plenty beautiful.
At last, time runs out for her.
Ah, I see. What a shame.
Beck tells her she did very well because only 2 people even reached the final question.
What about Sylvia? Did she solve everything? She is a monster. I am jealous.
The admission does not make Epherene smaller, it gives her frustration a direction. Before idealized recommendations and formal results can matter, what remains in her is simple curiosity. She still wants knowledge badly enough to chase it past humiliation.
I wanted to answer everything too.
The exam is finished, but the question is still there, waiting like an unfinished promise.
I am going to solve this question.
She laughs through the loss, because quitting would hurt worse than failing. Beck watches Epherene choose stubborn resolve over embarrassment. He wishes her luck and tells her he will be cheering for her. Outside the tower, Epherene finally walks away from the marathon exam.
Eer no quiver no verkrijntjes is state of uwe blauw voor op in wal su en etrasis is meef. But the only thing waiting for me at the end of a tough exam is something only I can reach.
Before that thought can settle, a marked doorway and a sudden presence pull her back into the world outside the test.
Ify,
A red-haired girl and her companions appear, lively enough to break the spell of Epherene's exhaustion. They say Sylvia has gone off to Ivand and invite Epherene to get something to eat together.
Julie,
Her friends immediately notice that something is wrong and ask whether the test was really that hard. The red-haired girl smiles like she already knows the answer is complicated.
it is nothing. Hey, I said it is nothing.
Several days after the marathon exam, the golden answer still hangs in Epherene's memory. She cannot deny its beauty, and that only makes Sylvia's victory sting more sharply. Julie finds Epherene still thinking about it and asks whether she is all right.
The exam was the best magical experience I have ever had.
Then the conversation turns to Deculein, and Epherene hears news she did not expect. Because the exam was so well received, Deculein has been summoned to the floating island. The summons is not small. The floating island is a place that hovers above ground level as if the tower itself has become a city.
The floating island?
It is an island that floats 1,500 meters above ground forever, held there by magic engineering. The island is also the community of mages and the culmination of magic engineering, which means every invitation there carries status. For Deculein, it is not just a location, it is a stage full of people who will judge him. Mages gather where magic knowledge gathers, and Deculein immediately recognizes what kind of opportunity this is. As several mages praise his exam paper, he becomes a hot topic on the floating island. The invitation is formal. He is to receive a reward and give a special lecture on the question.
The exam paper has gained enough interest and renown. I got a quest too. How lucky.
The hall is full, and even Deculein has to admit the result is absurd.
This feels weird, but it is probably a good thing. It is great to meet you all.
He gives his name and rank, then sets the lecture around the university midterm question.
Our topic is the midterm exam question at the university. This is going to be a 2-hour lecture.
Before touching the question itself, he says he will explain what pure elements are. A green-haired chairwoman stops the flow by asking whether everyone saw the question. She is introduced as Louina von Schroffen McQueen, and her challenge is blunt. The question is plagiarized. Until then, the lecture had been moving smoothly, with Deculein building the answer step by step. He had prepared the lecture to test whether the room could follow the premise before he gave the answer. The attendees were following his systematic explanation because it sounded like the open answer he had given before.
I have a question.
The interruption puts every eye in the hall on Louina and Deculein. Louina begins with the same distinction he used, differentiating pure elements and types. Her magic circle flares into the air, turning the question from theory into a public test. She asks what must be done to combine the magic with the number 6, or to make it as destructive as possible.
The chairwoman is here too. Well, it is obvious why she is here. The chairwoman likes to fool around a lot. If it is that, I can entertain her a little.
Louina's playful confidence cracks when Deculein simplifies the problem into a linear form. The hall expected a neat academic challenge, but Deculein turns the interruption into his own example. After the interruption, Deculein continues as if he has simply added another example to the lecture. Louina goes quiet, and the hall understands that Deculein has taken control of the challenge.
I only have 10 minutes left. It seems I spoke too much about preliminaries. Let me ask one last question. Do you think your thoughts on question number 8 are correct?
Louina cannot dodge anymore because the question is now aimed directly at her.
Louina, please explain what you mean.
She says she is curious about how the question is formed, but the old roundabout answer is no longer enough. The hall waits while Louina tries to make the plagiarism claim stand. Deculein answers that certain forms and shapes are not a special case but common phenomena.
However,
A bright structure blooms above the hall, more convincing than an argument. The formulas spread through the air until the whole demonstration belongs to Deculein.
all of this is mine.
The demonstration makes the answer visible. Deculein built a structure that simple copying could not explain. Luina is left at the front of the hall with no clean way to keep accusing him. Deculein asks if that is enough to answer her question. Luina can only fall silent.
That is the end of the lecture.
The quest completes, and Deculein receives 30 mana as his reward. He walks away with the same composed pace, even though the room is still reacting behind him. According to the talk around him, Deculein is always surrounded by haters, but his performance only adds more attention.
I am surrounded by haters. Who is she? She looks familiar.
A dark-haired woman watches him with open disgust, and Deculein can tell the reaction is personal.
What? Why does she look disgusted?
After the floating island lecture, Deculein notices a woman whose disgust feels too personal to ignore.
I remember now, she was my peer at university.
Her name is Charlotte, and she greets him like someone who knows both his status and his old reputation. She says she did not think they would cross paths by chance, which means this meeting is not casual. Deculein answers with formal distance and asks whether Princess Maho is well.
I do not care whether her affection for this body was close or not. What matters is Princess Maho, whom Charlotte guards.
The timing is dangerous because Emperor Crevice will pass away soon. When that happens, many named characters will face altered scenarios, and new incidents will open. The person Deculein needs to save is Maho, a young imperial princess and one of the main characters tied to Charlotte. Her bloodline makes her a target. She is part of the royal line connected to the throne of the Leok Kingdom. Where Princess Maho goes, blood follows because the succession route around her is already soaked in violence. Crevice's clan and the Emperor's new name will soon make the Empire unstable. Charlotte snaps that she still has a knack for making people say cruel things even when they have behaved well. Deculein does not soften. He keeps the conversation focused on survival, not comfort.
Do not get worked up. I will become the lifeline Maho needs to survive the path of death.
Elsewhere, Charlotte is already kneeling before the child princess she is trying to protect. She presents a communication crystal, telling Maho that Deculein will be connected through it. Maho reacts as if a message from Deculein should be impossible. There is no time, and Charlotte knows she may have only one chance to ask for help. Charlotte is flushed and shaken, but she keeps moving because hesitation would put Maho in more danger. Her attendant notices she looks unwell, and even that concern has to be pushed aside. The green-haired princess asks what is wrong. Charlotte admits she is nervous. Every part of the escape now depends on moving before the throne crisis traps her. Maho has fled to the Empire using her studies as an excuse, but that safety is only temporary. Charlotte says money matters too because emergencies become impossible when allies cannot move, hide, or travel. Maho looks painfully young for someone tied to a succession route. She offers Charlotte the money she has saved until now, but Charlotte refuses to make the child carry that burden. Charlotte tells the princess that she will do what is needed and get the money herself. She tells Maho not to carry the weight alone. Maho's answer is simple. The money is for emergencies, and this is exactly what emergencies are. Charlotte understands. The escape will be hard, but together they can still move. Outside, the city is already dangerous enough that pursuit feels inevitable. When armed figures appear, the quiet plan becomes a chase. Charlotte pulls Maho away before the pursuers can surround them. She says it has already begun, and the assassination attempt is no longer theoretical. If they cannot get help, the death route will catch them before they reach safety. Back at the Deculein estate, Deculein is reading when Uriel enters with another problem.
You are reading quite a bit. I do not remember you enjoying such an activity.
Uriel calls him brother with the tone of someone who already knows she is interrupting him.
I heard you did a lecture at the floating island and that you were paid for said lecture.
I am not giving you any, Uriel.
Uriel insists she did not come to beg for money. She came because the cleaning trips have become impossible.
Cleaning is impossible in those trips. I do not allow it.
Uriel argues about lost time and wasted money, but Deculein is already listening for something else.
Leave, Uriel. No, just take a look.
Oh, okay.
The crystal hums, and Uriel's protest dies as the emergency becomes visible. Deculein raises the communication crystal and waits for Charlotte to speak.
Speak, colleague.
Charlotte says they need to leave now and that there is no time left. Her message is blunt: help me, Deculein. Deculein answers without panic, asking whether she is going to leave through the route she knows. Charlotte explains that Princess Maho only has one way out, but the route is dangerous.
What is it?
The answer is the Crevice Canyon. Charlotte warns that the place is infested with demonic energy and that she should have expected Deculein to know that.
Do you think you can stop walking the path to your death if you use an ordinary route? Trust me, Charlotte.
He tells her to cross the Crevice Canyon, choosing the dangerous road because the obvious road is already a death trap. The route Deculein chooses is the Crevice Canyon, a rugged area surrounded by mountains and dangerous terrain. People say demons sometimes appear there, and the canyon is treated as an independent area for that reason.
That is the only way out for Princess Maho. I said that under the assumption Deculein would not be coming. Do not worry, I will personally guide you through.
Charlotte answers yes, because any safer-looking path is already part of the trap.
3 days from now, the Deculein field trip begins. For now, meet me there.
Uriel listens from the side, sharper than Deculein expected and already trying to read what he is hiding.
I use your princess because she led me to that ferry and retreated her companion behind the campfire.
The communication crystal falls silent with the rendezvous decided. 3 days later, Deculein's plan moves to the entrance of the crevice. If Charlotte cannot reach him there, Maho will soon have the right to live only in theory.
I hope you can continue your steps.
The exclusive Traveler quest updates, rewarding Deculein with store currency and another step toward survival. 3 days later, the debutantes arrive in Deculein and immediately praise the scenery. Deculein is the state capital of Deculein, famous for its mountains, food, and activities. Deculein once bought land there for recreation, but he is now turning the place into a real base. He says the process is close to completion, and if the camp succeeds, it can grow into another secure outpost.
Where are the debutantes staying?
The students are sent to accommodations that keep them close enough for observation and far enough to test independence. As Lord of Deculein and Professor of the Magic Tower, Deculein is both host and examiner.
These trips need to be flexible. I will not involve myself in what you do. However, the moment you stray, the hotel of my territory will not be included in your daily expenses.
After laying down the rules, he focuses on the real purpose, turning Deculein into an outpost. The students ask how the field activities will be graded, and Deculein turns the question into a practical. He turns the students toward practical assignments, forcing them to prove whether their magic can do anything useful in the field. After a full day of preparation, the sky darkens and the practical begins. Around the campfire, each group has to show a result rather than talk about theory. A water pillar erupts into the air as one group demonstrates its work. Fireworks burst above the field, turning the practical into a small festival. A student earns 10 points for flower-shaped fireworks, while another receives praise for beautiful work. Epherene's group watches the sudden fireworks practical with exactly the confusion of students who thought this was a trip.
Ha, I know right.
Then Deculein calls Epherene's group next. They explain that they created a firework with ductile and destruction magic.
Pardon?
Before she can steady herself, Deculein says he understands and orders them to proceed. The firework explodes beautifully enough that the other students admit Epherene's group did well. Even so, Deculein gives 6 points for making too much noise and 4 points for the other part of the execution. Epherene and Julie freeze because the result feels completely detached from the applause.
10 points.
He adds that the balance between destructive and ductile magic was good, which is almost praise by his standards.
What? 10 points?
Later, Epherene sits silently with the results still turning in her head. Night settles over Deculein and the canyon beyond it. Deculein leaves camp on horseback to check the route before Charlotte arrives.
Good, I can leave now. Is Charlotte safely on her way as well?
He notices an unusual light near the route and checks whether it changes Charlotte's chances.
Epherene, what brings you here at this time? Go back.
Please tell me. During the disciplinary hearing, the club room, and today.
She asks why he keeps acting this way and whether it is because of her father.
Figure it out yourself. You are an independent child.
She follows anyway, refusing to let his answer end the conversation.
I am going to apply to be your subordinate.
Deculein stops because the declaration is not what he expected from her.
I will do whatever it takes to expose you. Why did my father kill himself? Why did he do it? Will surpass you and become someone greater than you.
She turns away with the vow still burning, leaving Deculein alone on the canyon road. He lets her go because there is another root-critical danger in front of him tonight.
She wants to become my subordinate? However, this means Epherene has been blocked again. What do I do if he did something so unforgivable?
A white haze gathers near the path, confirming that demonic energy is not just a rumor.
You cannot go further because of the demonic energy. Go back to the stables and come back at noon. Has Charlotte's party arrived? Should I contact her through the crystal ball?
Then someone calls his name from the dark road. Charlotte's party has made it this far. Maho and Charlotte emerge at the canyon edge, alive for now, but standing exactly where Deculein's dangerous route begins.